All right, sounds good.
I have nothing that will drag it along, yes. We double check. Yep, nope. Good evening. Wonderful, thank you.
10-4. But this is workshop first. Doesn't count.
Hey, evening. Debbie, how are you?
I'm excellent.
Good evening, everyone. Call to order. Sorry, Christine, I scared you. All right, we'll try that again. Good evening, everyone. Call to order. Minneola City Council workshop meeting. Can I get a moment of silence and a pledge of allegiance by Joe?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I didn't hear that.
It's so good. Okay, we're starting this evening with the Minneola City Council workshop meeting. Agenda review. Everything look okay?
Looks good.
Joe, everything look all right?
Looks good.
Scott?
Yes, everything is fine with the workshop agenda. One thing to note, we will plan on having an additional workshop before the July 1st meeting on the same topic as well, so.
Perfect. Mark? Looks good. Let's start out with some public comments. Anyone in the audience would like to step forward? Please do so now.
Hello.
Good evening.
Good evening. Candy Alexander, 872 Meadow Park Drive, Minneola. I just wanted to come up here today and say that on June 5th, I had the opportunity to present at the statewide conference for our fire marshals, our fire inspectors, and our life safety coordinators. And in doing so, I had been meeting with Chief DeVasey, I'm going to say that name right, with some of the initiatives that I presented at that conference. We had to apply last year. I went under Prevent, Educate to be vetted to be part of that track. And so in doing so, the chief and I have had some meetings since then, and I'm really excited about some initiatives that he is going to be implementing, and under the advocacy and the things that we taught at the convention, I have offered my advocacy resources and things that we can do together. So I'm very excited about what can be for our fire department and for the city moving forward. I also want to give a shout out to Grant. We had our 5th anniversary here last week, and he was just amazing. There was so much happening at City Hall that day. But our clients, we celebrated our 5th anniversary, and he was just spot on as the Recs and Parks Department director. He just was amazing. So I had a a really good time. And Lieutenant Reed for our Minneola department for the sheriffs brought his deputies, and they presented all the awards for our clients. And I have to give a shout out to the youngest deputy I think I've ever met. And he let us all know it was his third day on the job. And here he was presenting the awards for our clients. So it really turned out to be really fantastic. So I just want to give it up to our first responders here in Minneola, and also for our Parks and Rec, because Grant really stepped up for us. So thank you.
Thank
Awesome,
you.
Thank you.
Anyone else in the audience? Before we move forward, or come on up, sir. Sorry about that.
Hi,
Good evening.
I'm Sergio Cabrera. I'm working at with the grant that was awarded to Minneola, and I just wanted to update everybody. And first of all, I want to thank Mark and everybody that's been working. Dan, who's running the show over there, Nathan that worked at the very beginning. Everybody's done really great job, and I think you guys are going to be very surprised. We thought we were going to have because we have another $1 million grant that you guys will get $100,000 from it that's pending. We missed because we hadn't started on this one because of just all the bureaucracy. Everybody's telling me government works slow. I didn't know how slow. But everything's going really good. We've got some fantastic results. Maybe one of the next times that I come, I can show you the separation of what we're doing with the sludge. And we're not even concentrating on that. That's really just a side project. But we've got very, very good results. And I don't know if you've seen the new commercials from Morgan & Morgan that they're going to start suing. They want people that have PFASs or cancer that they think from PFAS or microplastics and everything to contact them because they're going to figure out who they're going to sue next. And Minneola's going to be way ahead of that curve in solving that problem. So I just want to just say that my gratefulness in regards to being able to prove that here. We're really excited about it, and I think when you guys get the final results, you're going to be excited too. Anyway, that's it. And thanks for Dan and all his team. They've been doing awesome.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Anyone else? Before we move forward, can I get a motion to excuse the mayor?
And Eric,
Do we need to do it one at a time or
can
separate?
we do together?
Together if you'd like.
Perfect. Can I get a motion to excuse the mayor and Eric?
I'll make a motion to excuse the mayor, Pat Kelly, and Eric Hernandez.
Second it.
I have a first and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carried. Moving along to discussion and action items.
We have someone here from Florida Rural Water. If you have any questions about the study for the water and wastewater impact fees, he's here. He can provide an overview and answer any questions you may have.
While Mike's coming up, just to explain, we appreciate the good work that Florida Water's done to evaluate our impact fees, the water and wastewater impact fees. To explain why we're having these workshops, literally this workshop and the workshop we're having in a couple of weeks, the statute requires that normally impact fees are phased in over time unless there are extraordinary circumstances with growth that can demonstrate the need to increase them without the phase-in. That's the purpose of these workshops. They're dedicated to showing the need for the impact fee increase and the extraordinary circumstances that justify the increase. And so Mike has put together an excellent report with lots of numbers and graphs and charts and things that he's going to summarize for you tonight and go over that for you. But if you have any questions, this is the appropriate time, as well as the audience. Thank you, Mike.
Thank you. Good evening, sir.
Good evening. I have slides, but I guess they're not up. I presented last It's a month ago, I think.
I'm sorry, did you say you had slides?
I do, but I think I
Christine,
can-
or-
I think I can manage without them.
No? Yes? Anyone?
It's a very short presentation.
I haven't received anything new, but if I can pull up an old one.
It's okay. I can, let me just go off the.
Okay,
We'll have another workshop.
sorry about that.
Well, in my last presentation, we determined that, now the numbers, I'm just going to estimate or approximate, that the capacity fees should be in the neighborhood for water and wastewater together of about $15,000 per connection. The reason for impact fees is to put burden on the new customers, the new developers, to pay the cost of the new infrastructure to support the new development. Florida statute says we have to phase it in. We should phase it in unless there are extraordinary circumstances. My presentation tonight was going to be on the extraordinary circumstances. I got some building permit data for the last 10 years. For 6 years up until 2020 or so, you were getting about 300 a year, 250, 300. Whereas the last 4 years, it's averaged 550 a year. And this year, the projection based on the first 5 months is you're going to be well over 600 this year. So that's an extraordinary circumstance that puts a burden on the infrastructure capacity of your system. It's going to require upgrades. It's going to require expansion. And if we don't do the impact fees properly, that'll fall on the existing customers in the form of rate increases. It's almost done. The other circumstance is, since COVID, a background on me, I was the administrator for the state revolving fund, so I saw projects every year. Folks come in, they give you an estimate, you fund the projects, everybody knows what's coming. After 2020, it seemed like every estimate that we got, we listed, then they bid the project. All of a sudden, they're half, they need twice as much money. So we've seen cost of construction go up 2.5, 3 times since 2020. That's an extraordinarily aggressive inflation of the construction cost. Those two together, well, you can see it out there. Your growth in development and the cost of the infrastructure needed to support that development are together, separately or together, are an extraordinary circumstance, which allows us to raise the impact fees to what they need to be. I think that's about the point I wanted to make.
Thank you.
Any questions?
Anyone in the audience have any questions, concerns? If not, I'll bring it back to council. Joe?
No, I don't have any questions.
Thank you. Debbie?
No questions.
Well, thank you very much, sir.
Sure.
With that said, I don't have public comment on here again.
You can ask for it, though.
Okay. Anyone else in the audience before we close and adjourn? Public comment? If not, I'll close it out. Can I get an adjournment? Can I get a motion to adjourn? Excuse me.
Motion to adjourn?
I have a first, second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? Motion carried. Thank you. Moving right along. Minneola City Council meeting, June 17th, call to order, moment of silence and pledge of allegiance. Joe, would you like to start that?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Agenda review. Everything look good, Mark?
It does, unless the council wants to consider tabling item 6. Or, I mean, subchapter 6.
Yes, if we could table item 6, that's ordinance 2025-07 to the July 1st meeting, your next meeting at 6:30.
Okay.
That allows us to have the second workshop we're required to have, and then we can vote on it after that, so.
Perfect. Can I get a motion to table item 6?
I'll make that motion to table item 6, ordinance 2025-07.
I have a first. I have a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? Motion carries. And Scott, agenda review? Anything else?
That was it.
Nope. Debbie?
Do we want to move up item 8 to item 5?
Absolutely. Can I get a motion to move item 8 to item 5?
Make a motion to move item 8 to item 5.
I'll second it.
I have a first and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Joe, anything on the agenda? Joe, anything on the agenda? Does it look good to you?
Fine.
Thank you, sir. All righty. Public comments? Anyone in the audience have any public comments? There'll be a chance at the end of the meeting if anybody does. Moving right along. City manager's consent agenda. Can I get a motion?
Make a motion to approve the city manager's consent agenda.
I'll second it.
I have a first and a second for city manager's consent agenda. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Project updates.
Okay, we have some of the department heads here. If you want to go through the project updates, we have the library, the station next door, Education Avenue, lane widening, the second fire station in the hills, we call it the Hill Station. Hancock widening project is the county. I can talk a little bit about that. The wastewater treatment plant.
Well,
Trailhead
it's-
Park improvements. The other stuff's kind of on hold for, like the septic sewer phase 2 is on hold right now, some other stuff.
Well, it's up to council if you guys want to table it since Eric's not here, or do you want to move forward since we do have representatives here regarding some project updates?
A couple of key things. We did get the furniture for the library. We were advised today by the furniture supplier there's going to be a delay beyond our control, something really beyond their control. We're expecting about a 30-day delay on the furniture, but they're going to get it as quick as they can. I can explain more later. The doors next door. Our fire chief and our project manager were both out yesterday. Our project manager was out also last week a little bit, but our fire chief was here, and the doors came in. They were being installed in a way that we weren't happy with. We were already working on that, and I think someone called the city council about it as well, but staff was already working on that, so we're going to be working with the contractor and the door manufacturer or the door supplier to try to get that resolved. We're not happy with the conduit, on the outside of the building and things of that nature. So we stopped work on, we issued a stop work order, and we're going to be working on that. But again, staff observed it, and they weren't happy with it either, so they began to work on it quickly, trying to resolve that issue. So those are the two primary things, I think, on those projects.
Awesome, thank you. Anyone else? Anyone from the audience regarding the project updates? Questions, concerns? All right. We're going to move along with discussion and action items. We're going to go to item 8, status of street cleaning.
We have Peter here with Superior Wash. He's the contractor for GFL. He came a long way to come meet with us. He was going to come last time, but he was out of the country. So he can give you an update on his methods and his, also the status of where he's at on the project. And what I understand, they're out there working pretty hard on it 2 or 3 days a week.
Yes, so you want the update on which streets are completed first?
Sure.
Okay. Okay, Snapdragon Road.
I'm
Silco-
sorry, if you can just state your name and address,
Oh.
please. I apologize, and good evening.
Good evening. Peter Positano, and my address is 15084 Schoenengold Drive in Winter Garden.
Perfect, thank you.
Okay. So we started 2 different subdivisions, and I'm going to read off the streets that were completed already. Snapdragon Road, Silk Oak Lane, Gateway Ave, Arbor Point Ave, Red Bay Ave, Sierra Sunway, Bear Peak Drive, Raven Ridge Road, Evandor Way, Gold Dust Drive, and Mystic Maze Lane. Those are the 2 subdivisions that were completed, or streets in the subdivisions that were
Right,
completed. We're
okay.
still doing, so now we have the new ones, which are Torchwood, Princewood, Box Elder Woods Landing, Treasure Hill, Huntsman Ridge, Ravens Ridge, Lost Horizon Way, and Sundance Chase. And they'll be started this week.
In each of those roads, you do multiple treatments on, right? You just don't go once, you
The
go back.
treatment, no,
Yeah.
the treatment is 2 months long. It's 2 treatments per week. One is a chemical application, and then the other one is a pressure washing of the same area, twice a week, every street. The chemical application is an enzyme that breaks down the oils, the hydraulic oil that's sitting on the asphalt. It breaks it down into a smaller molecule, which makes it more water soluble. And we come back 3 or 4 days later, and then we pressure wash it. It's kind of like a force weathering process. So that's what we're doing.
They're
Thank
doing
you.
a thorough job
Questions?
as you can do on,
What's that?
you're doing a thorough of a job as anyone can do
I hope so.
on
I've been
that.
doing this for 30 years now. We started doing this for all the waste companies, so we do GFL, Waste Management, Waste Pro, FCC. Every waste company in the state and 30 other states. We started 30 years ago, and I've probably done tens of thousands of these. We get per week probably about 20, maybe more, oil spills just like these per week that we do
From various carriers.
from various carriers, yep.
Okay.
So a lot of experience. The oil will fade. Nothing is degraded the asphalt, so it's just surface oils. It will fade. The sun will also fade it over time, and the sun helps our process. It does a little bit different. It's more of an oxidation process, the sun does. Also breaks up the oil molecules, makes it more water soluble, and the rain will wash it away. But that'll take a year versus a couple months of what we do.
Okay.
So, any questions?
Thank you, I don't.
I don't, thank you.
Perfect.
Joe, any questions?
No.
Anyone from the audience?
Going once? Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Jennifer?
Good evening. Jennifer
Good
Morse,
evening.
1064 Golden Dawn Loop. So I'm just going to be blunt. It's been months that we've been working on this, and like I asked a couple times before, one, is there someone from the city that's going out and inspecting the roads, taking pictures, and determining, because we're letting the garbage company, I forget the name of it or the proper name, but we're letting them dictate which roads they're cleaning. It doesn't sound like, I appreciate the update, but someone should be going out and making sure those roads are actually cleaned, not just saying thank you for the update. I'm sure you're doing a very good job. Thirdly, I sent an email regarding my list of streets. Is there a master list of streets that we're working on? I haven't seen a project plan from them, an estimated completion date, how long does it take for these roads to go? Are they doing it in phases? I really think there needs to be some leadership from the city to make sure that we're not down this road 6 months from now saying, oh, we need to hire another company because it's not going well.
Great questions, thank you, because I was actually going to ask if there was any before and after photos that he can present, but most of all, as Jennifer did mention, is there someone that is taking the lead on this in regards to kind of like a sheet as to which streets are going to be going to first and last and so on and so forth, because I'd like to let my neighbors know when our streets in my subdivision are going to be addressed.
So our senior code enforcement officer was involved in that. We have not assigned anyone new until we hire another senior code enforcement officer. But he was assigned that task and was being pretty diligent with it up until his change in venue.
So in the meantime, we don't have anyone, and this gentleman had named several streets, and I'd like to see, if possible, if we can get an update as far as photo-wise. I mean, before and afters, and also just someone that's going to take the lead on this so we can let the residents know what streets are coming up next, what streets have been, and, you know, what was done, we weren't able to fix it, you know, results. I would appreciate that. Thank you, Jennifer. Yes, good evening, sir.
David Yeager, 2750 Purple Meadow Court. I've known Pete for a long time. He did some of my clients in Orlando. It's not a secret sauce. It takes time, and you know, the sun will help it. And so if you think it's going to be a drastic change, no, it will be a change, but it takes time. So if you think that it's just going to go away, it's not. But Del Webb has the same issue up there, Mark, just so you know, from leaky hoses. So thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else in the audience? All righty, so moving along, thank you, sir. Council, anything?
No.
Joe? Okay. Moving to item 5, ordinance 2025-10, houses of worship and B1 zoning, first reading.
Ordinance 2025-10 on first reading, an ordinance of the City Council, the City of Minneola, Florida, amending the Land Development Code to add house of worship as a special exception use in the B1 Business Zoning District, amending Section 106-2 to establish special exception conditions for houses of worship in the B1 District, providing for severability, providing for codification, providing for conflicts, providing for an effective date.
So currently, the churches are only allowed to be by right in public facility zoning. But as you know, we don't have hardly any public facility, and none of it's vacant. It's all already being occupied by churches and schools. So this would have allow them to go into B1 zoning as a special exception use, like some of the other ones, such as daycares and things like that. They would have certain conditions. They would be allowed to go into B1, but they'd have to apply for this special exception, be approved by you for that. And there are certain conditions written in the code, and you can also put other conditions depending on the location and all on it. This would you could limit the number of people they are allowed to have there based on the size of the building and the parking. It would limit the hours of operation so that they wouldn't be disturbing the neighbors around there if they're, because a lot of our B1 is backs up to neighborhoods. So it would limit their hours of operation. If they needed a special event and a special operation, they would have to come to the city manager to get permission for that. Limit the noise, different things like that. And one of the main things that we put in there that you guys indicated last week that you'd like is that if they are going in as a special exception at B1 zoning, they have to agree not to object to alcohol being served around them.
Mm-hmm. Thank you, Joyce. Anything from council before I go to audience? No? Okay. Debbie, any questions?
No
Okay.
questions.
Anyone in the audience want to speak regarding ordinance 2025-10? And is the applicant here by any chance?
Yeah, there's no applicant. This is just changing our
Oh,
code.
my apologies, my apologies. Okay, anyone in the audience want to speak on this?
Nicole Marie, 879 High Point Circle. I actually just have a question.
Good evening.
I was wondering what are the benefits to adjusting the ordinance versus like looking at the zoning in general, like looking at it as a zoning point of view? Like what are the benefits here? Because I'm not understanding this. Like I'm not understanding, she's saying that we don't have public facility zoning. So why wouldn't we like look back and see if anything can be rezoned?
It's coming behind
Okay.
you.
We have public facility zoning. We don't have a lot of it around in the city, period, and none of it is vacant. That is the problem. B1 zoning only allows specific uses, commercial-type uses. It does not allow public facility-type uses. But we know that there's a lot of churches in this area, and that are small churches, and they need like a storefront type thing. They don't need to buy land and build a huge facility and rezone it. So this would keep the underlying zoning as B1. So if the church moves out, it goes back to the regular B1 uses. But it would allow these churches, the local churches, to have somewhere that they could afford to move into until they can find something else.
We've gotten, over
Thank
the
you.
years, if y'all recall, we've gotten a lot of requests over time for churches to move into strip malls and things. We've allowed them on Janmar Court, Cactus Management Site, Tony Hubbard's property, Greg Homan's property even. So because of the frequency of these smaller churches needing a place to go, we thought an ordinance change would be better facilitate those and also protect the people around it. So.
Thank you.
So just to clarify, you're saying that the benefits of the ordinance is to like protect the businesses and the land around it?
Yeah, well, we can allow special exceptions, and we can put conditions on that. We can put special conditions on it, too.
And so that's the
Hours
benefit
of
to the city
operation and
of doing it this way? Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else in the audience? And again, that's first reading, no motion made.
Correct.
Thank you. Moving to item 7, ordinance 2025-11, live local property tax exemption, opt-out. This is second reading.
Ordinance 2025-11, an ordinance of the City of Minneola, Florida pursuant to Section 196.197830 Florida statutes electing to not exempt property under Section 196.19783D1A of Florida statutes, commonly known as the Live Local Act property tax exemption for certain multifamily rental units, providing for findings, providing for opt-out, providing for applicability, providing for advertising notice to the property appraiser, providing for no waiver of rights, providing for an effective date and expiration, providing for severability and conflicts, providing for an effective date. This is the same exemption that you have currently for this year. It just, the statute requires you to do it every year if you wish to continue it. So this would be, actually, we're early with this, but it's passing the exemption for the 2026 year.
Thank you, Scott. I'll bring it back to council.
And ask for public comment.
And yeah, after I ask council.
No.
No? Public comments? Anyone in the audience regarding ordinance 2025-11? Any comments, concerns? Okay. That is second reading. Can I get a motion to approve?
I'll make a motion to approve.
I'll second it.
I have a first and second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All oppose? Motion carries. Thank you. Before we do final public comment, Scott, did I also need to excuse Pat Kelly and Eric Hernandez for the city council meeting?
Yes, if you'd like to, yes.
Can I get a motion to excuse Pat Kelly and Eric Hernandez?
I'll make a motion to excuse Pat Kelly and Eric Hernandez.
I'll second it.
I have a first and a second. All in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed? Thank you. Final public comment? Anyone? All right. I'll bring it back to reports. Our city manager, Mark Johnson.
Yes, the Trailhead Park bathroom improvements began yesterday. Reminder, there's a workshop next Tuesday on the retail project on Highway 27. Also, next month, there's a chamber function at the Sterling Wedding venue. Remind everyone, Form 1 are due July 1st. We spoke with the county about trimming trees on Education Avenue. They said that was already in queue to be done, so all around the MAC, where the trees on the MAC overhang the sidewalk, they're going to get those trimmed up. Staff's working on Starlink for the new library as requested last time, and they're also working on getting quotes for penetration testing each year for our IT systems. We cleaned out a lot of brush at the cemetery all the way up to the lake, and we're cleaning the headstones now with the assistance of some trustees. They made some big progress there on the days they've been able to come out. If you go out there, you'll probably notice a difference. Some of those headstones look brand new. And we're going to go through, once they're cleaning, we're going to go through and level the ones we can, re-level them. And we're also going to, repair, replace the ones that need to be repaired or replaced. The painting of City Hall is complete. Got it all new painted. All the stucco was fixed, and then it was repainted. Staff broke up the contractors in order to get the cost down. They did a good job on that, and I think the work was good. And that's all I have now. Thank you.
Thank you, Mark. Anything for the city manager, Debbie?
No, I just want to tell you, Mark, I did drive by the cemetery, and it looks really, really nice, so thank you.
Awesome. Joe, anything for the city manager?
The landscaping doesn't look like it's complete.
You know what? I'm glad you brought that up. We received a quote, but it was too late to get it into the agenda, so I was going to hand that out tonight. I'll go get that, and I'll be right back.
While we're waiting on Mark, Scott, our city attorney, anything for this evening?
No, I was actually just reading the final legislative, our legislature did approve a budget yesterday and have concluded their session, and so hopefully by your next meeting we'll have the final report. Nothing significant passed recently outside of the budget, but I'll give a report as it affects the city. As I said, hopefully we'll have the comprehensive report for the next meeting. But
Okay, thank you. Debbie, anything for the city attorney?
No, thank you, Scott.
Joe, anything for the city attorney?
No.
Thank you. I'm going to go to Debbie Flynn. Reports?
Nothing here. Thank you.
All righty. Joe Saunders, any reports for this evening?
Nope.
No? Okay, great. And I have no reports either. Joe, are you good with this? Do you want to come back to this another day?
Yeah, I don't want to
Perfect.
read it now and
Gotcha.
make everybody
Just
wait.
wanted to give you that. All right, well then, can I get a motion for adjournment?
Make a motion to adjourn.
I have a first. Can I get a second, Joe?
Joe.
Joe?
Second to adjourn.
Second to adjourn?
To adjourn. Second. Would
I'll
you like to
second
second?
All in favor say aye. Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carry. Have a great evening, guys.
excellent work.
It was too much. Too much pressure.